Boom! We're live.
Woo.
How's it going, everyone? Surprise stream tonight. Heads up, we might be having Matt joining us as well, and maybe a few other people, maybe not, and that's okay. But right now, we are now live. KaijuFanatic, hello, with Tokusatsu BTS. Say hello, buddy.
Hello. Hello.
Woo, Joseph. Woo. How's it going?
Doing good.
Good.
I'm excited.
Good.
2 more weeks till -1.
2 more weeks till -1, and whether you're live or watching this back on the channel, I'm telling you guys this now. There is a discussion live stream being planned for -1. We're just trying to get the time and the date. There might even be a pre-stream before the 29th, so we might have a hype up stream, and then we'll have a full discussion stream. Still deciding if we're going to do spoilers or if we're going to do 2 streams or just one, just summing up the movie without any spoilers or not. So, but today, right now, we are here to talk about Monarch, the first 2 episodes, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I'm very excited for this show. I'm actually spoiler free. The only spoilers that will be talked about in this live stream are, of course, the first 2 episodes. We know nothing about 3 to 8, which is what the early review, the review package that has been sent out as the first 8 episodes, and the last 2 episodes are being saved for later for all the professional companies doing their stuff and people in the community as well that do reviews. So no spoilers here. Anything after 3 or 3 and beyond, we don't know anything. But the first 2 episodes, they're out, right? Well, okay, so we already know. Joseph, tell me just really quickly, how much do you like the first 2 episodes?
Woo! A lot better than I thought. I like it a lot more.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was going to be boring, but they did a great job setting up the characters. I'm especially going to scenes back and forth from time. So you're in 2015, then you're back in the 50s. I think it's pretty good.
And the 70s.
Oh yeah, 70s too. That's pretty much all I have to say for now.
Sweet. Yeah. I'll sum it up really quick. I completely agree with Joseph. It was a shock at how good this was. I am very impressed, especially with the characters, the writing of the characters. The script as well is really, really well done. You can tell that our directors have put a ton of time and effort listening to the community and making sure that the human characters actually can hold up their own end of the story. I think out of the 4 movies, and we'll count the anime Skull Island, I think if we're looking at the batches of characters from these medias, I think personally for me, this is number 2. I love Skull Island. I love the characters. It's got some of my favorite actors and actresses. I can't help but be a little biased to Skull Island, but I think this is a very close second. And then, the rest is kind of not to hate on Monsterverse, because I don't hate the films, but
I'm gonna cancel you now.
2019, 2014, 2021. Some really good characters and some not really great ones. And as time goes on, there's some characters in a few of those films that I just don't like even more and more. So here's hoping Monarch's able to continue its stride with the characters, but we'll talk about the characters in a little bit. I kind of got off a little ramble, which is funny because I'm sober this time. Let's just kind of start out. I'm going to sum up episode 1 really quick. Episode 1 opens with Bill Randa during Kong Skull Island at a moment where he's not with the group, something we didn't see. He's being chased by the large spider thing with the bamboo legs to camouflage. He gets chased off a cliff. He throws a bag with Monarch secrets, and we don't fully fully 100% know what's on those. We get teased later in the episode what's in there, and that kind of sets the whole plot into motion. But he throws that bag off, and then a rock kaiju. Interestingly enough, to me at least, I thought it was the same exact ones that we see in the Skull Island anime when the two boys are on the beach after the shipwreck and they can't move on the sand and they have to pretty much do the tremors thing. I thought that was probably not the same exact one, but an evolution of it or a different family of that kaiju that's in Skull Island, the animated Skull Island. Then pretty much we cut back. I've got IMDb up, so that's where I'm getting the actors and stuff. Give them credit. Didn't have time to write it all down. We cut back to Kate, who is going to Japan because her dad's dead. And she needs to go to his place because he left behind keys. She gets there, finds out her dad's kind of a scumbag, has a different family. They don't like each other, and while she's coming back and she's thinking about it, they have a Godzilla warning. Boom, bam, boom. Godzilla warning goes off. She has PTSD, and that gets us to the highlight of episode 1, or one of the highlights of episode 1, and we figure out why. Well, we figure out that Kate Randa is Kate Randa was at what they dub G Day, is what they call it, when 2014 happens, the Los Angeles battle with Godzilla and the unnamed kaiju Mutos. Because now they added in that the Mutos is the general term for all the Titans that don't have a name, which means that the Mutos from 2014, that is not their names. They just don't have names, which is kind of a weird revelation. But we find out she was there. She's a teacher. She's on a school bus. The school bus falls off the bridge with a bunch of kids in it. Very big, shocking scene. My jaw was on the floor. Joseph, what did you think about that scene?
Woo. I kind of knew that something like that would happen in 2014, but now actually seeing it in the show, shocking that they'd go this far. And I just consider this an appetizer to see what they might show in -1 with the human destruction scenes, because wow. We hardly seen the human aftermath when it comes to the MonsterVerse. So this is really interesting turn that they're gonna take.
Yeah,
it's especially with the Godzilla shelter and the PTSD scenes. Yeah,
it's that the scene, and then there's more scenes throughout it, and I'm sure throughout the series we're going to be getting more and more clips of that, because as we know from 2014, it is a very hectic scene from the bridge all the way even to the the next day after the battle is done and they're trying to wake up Godzilla, because we know the Brody family, the wife gets trapped underground with a bunch of people. Brody and all of the army people are going through the city. So it's interesting to be getting another angle. It almost, now that I'm thinking about it, it really feels Cloverfield-esque without the POV camera shots and what we're being teased. Well, the long rumor that there was another Cloverfield movie coming out, where there's a scene in that movie at the bridge scene right before Clover just blows it away and kills off one of our protagonists' brother. There's a scene where he's looking up and there's another guy across the bridge with a camera pointing at them. And there was a big rumor that that was going to be another movie and it was going to continue after the nuke that's dropped on Clover, but I don't think that's going to happen. But now we're getting a direct sequel to that movie. And it kind of felt like it feels like a cool callback, and it's something the MonsterVerse needed. I've seen a lot of people say that this is more in line with the first two films, 2014 and 2017, which I agree. And I'm really, really happy about it. it's like Joseph said. It it's nice that they went this direction because this is 100% kind of preparing us for what minus one is going to be. We already know minus one is not going to be like a lot of Godzilla films. It's going to be like 54 and 84. It's going to be dark. Um, and who knows what fully happens in there. I'm just told it's, if you like big mean Godzillas, minus one is probably going to be your favorite, or he's going to be up there. So I agree. It's nice to see this show take that route, and it really holds it throughout. Like there's obviously comedy in it. You gotta line it up, and all the light moments that happen between the first two episodes are pretty stellar. Actually, it's just really well written. Like the characters all feel like it's realistic that they're there. Their interactions, you know, speaking on Kate Randa's dad being not a good guy. He has two different families. So you got one wife and the son, Kentaro, and then you have the other wife who we've only heard over the phone. Don't know if she's actually going to play a big role or not. I think she might a little later down the line. Some part of me wants to say that maybe she might be someone we already know, but that wouldn't really make sense. But they're kind of pulling at sticks right now. They're changing up the mythos a little bit. So, but then there's Kate as well, and those two's interactions. I love the interactions they have. Just what do you think of Kate and Kentaro's relationship right now?
Toxic, definitely. Lots of drama in the show. Goodness, already two
Yeah.
episodes in. Taro has relationship issues. Goodness. I hope we find out more about the dad. See why he has two families specifically.
Mm.
Because the password, it was, what was it? I know it's like the birth day or birth month of both of their families combined.
Yeah, it was digits from each of their birthdays in a row because it was 2, 2, and 4. Typical, date setting. It was, I think it was the U.S. family's mom's first two digits, then it was Kentaro's, and then it was Kate's, and then I think it was the Emiko. That's what I IMDb has her listed as Emiko Randa. I think hers was the last one, which kind of teases that although having two families is really, it's not a good thing. Don't cheat
Yeah.
on your partner. Definitely don't have a second family. That's crazy. That's not a plot point I thought we would be getting in a Godzilla film,
Hmm.
but it makes sense. It's a pretty used plot point, especially in like these murder, or not murder, thriller-esque mystery
Or,
shows.
yeah.
But I do like how Kate and Kentaro interact. Like they kind of are acting brother sister already. Admittingly, to me, it kind of feels like that, except they're just arguing whose mom was the first one. That there's a lot of that. And then
Jacob.
Emiko. Oh, do we have another? Do we have another?
No,
Oh,
it's chat.
we have Jacob from Kaiju United. Hey,
Woo!
man, how's it going, dude?
I am doing really good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Jumping in, talking about the Monarchs, talking about
Monarch,
the brother sister relationship with Kate and Kentaro, because that's going to be probably built throughout the whole show. And we're just kind of talking about like the drama that's in this, because it's it's not different for Godzilla, because a lot of the Showa films I feel like had plot points like this, like real true human drama. And it really makes sense for US drama because especially like cheating and stuff is pretty common plot points in American cinema. Um, it's a pretty common thing to see in US written stuff. So it's a refresh, but it also, not that it's a good thing, but it's nice to have some actual relatable drama and to see these two characters, these two families that are intertwined, to see their story start to build, especially in these first two episodes, it's well written. It's well written.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And it kind of plays off in that intro sequence too. I really like that intro sequence. How you have the almost mirrored image, but not quite. Where you have the two cities, you have the two passports,
Mm-hmm.
two timelines, all in twos. But what's her name? The lead in this show is phenomenal.
Kate.
Kate, yeah, the woman that plays Kate. Forgive me, I will pull the name up right now.
Anna
Sawai.
Yep, Swy. Yep. Yep.
Again,
She does good.
She's a phenomenal performance. I think her and the woman that plays Keiko, but they were in an Apple TV Plus show together. I can't remember what it's called.
That would make sense.
It's Pachinko.
Oh,
It's about Korean immigrants living in Japan.
Oh, yep. I think
I may have
during one of the calls
time.
this week, yeah, we were talking about this. I think last night or the night before. I don't know. All these days, they combined. Yeah, it's a really good show so far. I'm really impressed at just the level of writing they've used. The human characters, I really feel like they listened to us and said, we got to make good characters, especially because a lot of the critiques that are coming out from some people is there's not a lot of monsters. I never expected this to be like monster. I expected it to be 80-90% human cast.
It was never pitched as that anyway. It was pitched as a Monarch show. Godzilla just happens to make some appearances, and I think so far that's what we've gotten.
Yep.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just saying, I think that pitch was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a family drama. The title is Legacy of Monsters. It's perhaps the monsters in there isn't referring to the kaiju. It's referring to the human beings.
Interesting. Maybe at the end we'll do some Well, me and Joseph will do some predictions. Jacob, our friend here, has to be a little careful.
I guess,
as I said, what if we are the Monarch? What if Monarch is inside all of us?
Yeah.
What happened if Monarch is the friends we made along the way?
I got some good training in through the Monster Report. When I was on the Monster Report, I was struggling a lot.
Yes. Since we're kind of just going off, I'm not going to leave this structured. I do want to talk about, because we're talking about characters, just talking about our Monarch characters right now. So we have Lee, we have Dr. Keiko, we have Bill Randa, and then we have in the present timeline, the 2015, we have what's her name? Or what's his name and her name?
In the past?
In 2015, the guy who goes to Japan.
Oh shoot.
We have Duvall and James. That I believe is who this is. No, not James. That's someone else down the line.
Which character are you referring to?
So the Monarch official that goes and starts tracking them down because he got
Tippett?
What?
Tim?
Joe Tippett's character?
Yeah, Tim. There it is. Just scroll down enough, and then I believe it's Duvall. Is that the French assistant? Is that the joke that's played?
I believe so.
I thought she was Russian.
Yeah, because Kate, when she's on the phone with her mom, she's like, "Hey, these weird people are here," and she makes a comment that she's French, but I do believe she's actually Russian. I think that's supposed to be the joke played.
Yeah, maybe she speaks French or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because she speaks Japanese. Because she walks in to the Japanese Randa house, and starts speaking Japanese. Because she's the one speaking for Tim, so she probably just knows a bunch of languages, which is
exactly
props to her. Props to her. But I like that we're getting Monarch, and I like that they're not giving us the right feel on what Monarch's supposed to be right now. They're making
I like
Monarch
that too.
seem, yeah, they make Monarch seem like the villains, and they're building up to Lee Shaw being on the protagonist side of things. You know, especially with these flashbacks, they're really, they're showing he's grumpy.
They're making him empathetic. They're almost we're only in episode 2.
Yeah, which we've already got a lot on Shaw. Like Shaw is
Shaw. They're getting a lot of screen time for Shaw, both in the present timeline. Well, I don't think we've met him in the present timeline yet, but in the past timeline, we have put a lot of screen time in the Shaw.
Yep.
As you saw in the sneak peeks that KU posted, you will see him in the present timeline next episode.
We do have him in episode 2.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. They go visit him at the retirement facility that he's in Japan.
That's right.
So, yep,
his big moment is this Wednesday.
Yep. The Alaska episode is what the synopsises and the trailers have shown. Well, the little bit that they have shown. Jacob's already hinted that this is going to be a very fun episode, so I'm very excited. I'm sad that it comes out on Wednesday, but I'm sad because it's only doing that because of the holidays, and then it'll go back to Friday releases. So between 3 and 4, we're going to have a 9-day break instead of a 7, and that makes me a little sad.
It'll be all right. It's going to go by quick. All these streaming shows to do weekly, it goes by way quick.
Yeah, that's true.
When the Loki season finale aired, and I forgot about it, I was like, "What? Loki's already over?"
Yeah. Well, and then it was only 6 episodes too, which was super weird. I thought it was 8, but they kept it to 6. Joseph, with what we've seen so far, what are you thinking about Shaw's character?
I hope that he's not some kind of twist villain. That's what I want to.
I
just imagine.
I would like to agree with that statement. I hope he isn't, but he's an army dude.
I have an early prediction, actually.
Do it. Lay it on me. Lay it on us.
What's your prediction?
I want Serizawa to be at least in one scene. It's 2015. He's still alive in the timeline. Maybe as a flashback. I don't know. Maybe.
I would really also, I 100% agree. I would love Serizawa, but I feel like even if he had they held John Goodman's cameo up pretty well.
Yeah,
so
they kept that a good secret for a long time.
Yep. Yeah. So hopefully, I would hope Serizawa's in it, but I'm not expecting that.
John Goodman's not even listed on IMDb, so maybe.
Hey, Matt's here.
Oh my god, I'm prepared. Hi, boys.
Welcome.
That's okay. We're kind of it's devolved into a little bit of chaos, but that's fine. We're pretty much, right now we're talking about Lee Shaw and kind of how we feel about his character just within the first 2 episodes, and kind of just
beautiful 90-year-old to exist.
Yeah. That's interesting. Interesting. But that's probably going to be addressed because this show has been pretty detailed with how it's doing things, like even just minor things that happen in the past, they get mentioned in the future, and they're bringing it back, and it's very, how to put it. Hi, sorry, girlfriend walked in, looking at me weird. Brain fart, it's gone.
They're very meticulous and careful in their writing.
Yes,
There's not too many continuity errors.
it's consistent.
At least with the first 2 episodes that we're talking about.
Yep.
Even stuff like the comics, I've heard people say that they're retconning the comics.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
That's with my embargo lips sealed. So there's
that would be
crime fight.
I do know it takes place in 2015, so it's a year after G14. I don't remember when the comic takes place. Someone can remind me.
2016.
Okay, so
I
Are we
believe.
talking about the Muto Prime comic?
the
after.
G14 comic.
Okay.
Awakening.
Awakening's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
Awakening.
You can tell.
Awakening's been retconned. Awakening's been
Yeah.
retconned
I
already.
was gonna say that's like somewhat non-canon now.
Yeah, because even Monarch has showed us scenes that suggest that awakening isn't possible. But the Aftershock came out with 2019. I do believe it's 2015 or 2016 because it does take a while for the dorsal plates to grow. Spoilers for that, but it's like I said, it's been out since 2019. Godzilla gets his back plates blown up, and that's why in 2019 they're different.
Interesting.
Yep. Which there was an interview recently talking about the Godzilla designs, which this doesn't spoil the show, and I believe it's the designer and the director both made a comment saying, like, this happens. Godzilla's spines get destroyed in the comics, and that's why they grow. So, and that's why both of them are in here. They're not just like being lazy and putting the 2019 design where 2014 is. They were like, we read the comics, we know what Legendary's doing, and they're trying to keep it consistent. So I do think after Awakening, I think the comics still have a chance of being mostly canon.
Yeah, I think Awakening. I'm not sure about the validity of Awakening's canon status. I think we'll find out by the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm not 100% one way or the other. But we're just talking about the first 2 episodes.
Yep, just the first 2. I'm, as well as Matt and Joseph, I know the 3 of us are all spoiler free, actually. I'm going in blind, which is funny because I'm not going in blind to New Empire.
Yeah.
Or -1. But
speak for yourself.
Yep,
it's
Joseph.
really interesting because Joseph.
Yep, Joseph is spoiler free all the time.
Dare.
Yep. Yeah.
So some more of my friends that are local to Utah. I have one guy that I just divulged Marvel stuff with a lot of the rumors of what they're doing with like Kang the Conqueror and stuff like that.
It's messy.
And he's usually like all ears, 100%. I don't really care. You can talk about it if you've seen the movie. With Monarch, he has been like, I don't want to hear a thing. He goes, my wife and I enjoyed the show and are so invested in it. Just don't say anything.
Yep. That's what I decided. I said I would watch the first 2 episodes, and then if I wanted spoilers, I would obtain them somehow. And I've decided I'm gonna be blank. I want to enjoy this for what it is. And I think, especially because, as Jacob's already kind of said, and as his review states, Jacob has gotten to see some of the episodes or bits and chunks. Yeah. So He kind of knows a little bit more than us. But I really, really am excited to see what happens, especially towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no spoiler leaks for the show up until reporting people have gotten it, and that's
Think so
because
now.
they want to keep things hidden. And I want to see it. I want to see why they're keeping it hidden.
I actually want to
And I
ask
want to
Matt this question. What do you
Spider.
think?
Spider.
What do you think about a Serizawa
Cameo.
cameo?
I don't think so because they have already said there's going to be one returning character, and that just so happened to be Bill Randa. So I mean, I expect a name drop, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean,
No, I'm KaijuFanatic.
I would hope
Dr.
there's at
Strange.
least a name drop of both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
hang on. Here's another thing. I'm probably just reaching by now, but what if they like name drop the Oxygen Destroyer as well?
That'd be
Maybe.
cool.
Maybe.
the only
It
problem,
wasn't a Monarch thing, though. It was a military
Yeah.
prototype.
It was a military thing in G19,
really?
I think. Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because all of them, when they get the call when Godzilla and Ghidorah are fighting in the ocean, after they get Monarch gets away and what's her face goes on her big rant about humanity, the U.S. General 14 calls and he's like, "Hey, we've developed a weapon. Get out of there."
Code
No
name,
one knows what's
Oxygen
going on.
Destroyer.
Yeah,
Been a
which
while
is
since I
such a
watched that
waste.
movie.
Oxygen Destroyer should have been in this show, to be honest.
Yes.
Or at least a build up to use
Yeah.
in 2024.
Schematics and all that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
The whole
What can we
discussion for
do?
another stream.
Yep, we could still get an updated one that's actually used as not just an ex machina in the middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we could, but we don't know. The kind of so we talked about episode 1 a bit. Episode 2 is tamer. I would say that episode 1. Episode 1
Episode 1 just throws you in, man.
Yeah,
Mm.
episode 1 throws you in. You
I
know,
was like,
like I said,
holy
this
cow.
spoilers
Like-
discussion. So the end of episode 1 is Dr. Dr. Keiko or Dr. Keiko dies in 59, which sets up a lot of different plot lines. We get the present Shaw timeline. We get the Randa family now figuring, realizing that's grandma, adding more questions to their story, and gives us a little bit more about Bill Randa too, which I love all this character development they're giving him.
It makes me feel bad because I went and rewatched that scene in Skull Island, and I was like, so that's how it ends, huh?
Yeah.
For as likable as Anders Holm is as the character of Bill Randa thus far, I really like his performance. He seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I'm interested to see, as I stated in my review, how he goes from Bill Randa, hey, what's up, guys? I'm a cryptozoologist, to monsters exist.
Classic John Goodman delivery. It's
feel like
so
Her
good.
dying is the start of that.
Maybe, yeah. I'm just, I'm really curious because, like, even John Goodman in Skull Island is not to get us off track here, but like, I watched that whole speech over again, and you can see, like, even with his eyes, he's like not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that they're doing this. Even speaking about Bill Randa's character, there's a moment when Emiko and Kentaro are sitting at the house before Monarch comes and raids them and tries to get the discs, because even in the 70s, they still had a way to connect the files that Randa threw out to the ocean to still be able to connect to present day Monarch in 2015, which is really impressive actually. But they're talking about it and they're going through photos and they pick up one of, hey Lewis, how's it going? How's it going, man? There's a moment where they pick it up and they're talking about Shaw, and I believe they also mentioned that Bill Randa died in Vietnam, which is just, it's a cool way to learn that that's how they explain his death to the public from Skull Island, because we never get to see that part of it. We get to see where, you know, Skull Island ends with a lot of questions. And yeah, and we still haven't gotten answers, which I really, really hope gets brought up in this. Like, where's his character? Where's Bree's character? You know, I get they're older now, so they can have different actor and an actress for them.
Give me Sam
I
Jackson.
want answers.
Packard?
I don't know how they would do it.
Shows up.
Just do another Bill Randa flashback and just have Samuel L. Jackson in it. I would be down for that. I would be so down for that.
It'd be great.
But once again, that one is 100% not happening. But that would be honestly the cherry on top for me if they could somehow bring back his character just as a flashback.
Who would play the young Samuel L. Jackson?
Michael B. Jordan.
It would still be him because it would be something during Skull Island. Like maybe they could, before they leave to go to Skull Island,
just add a little bit of makeup. Bam, de-aged instantly.
Maybe they could have like a moment where Bill's arguing with someone that we're going to learn in the show. They're arguing with them, and then Samuel L. Jackson's like, hey, we need to get on the boat and get out of here. I need to go shoot some people because I'm PTSDing out. You know, something like that. Just a quick, just have them brush by and leave. That would be cherry on top. Not going to happen. Digging the -1 shirts. Yeah, thanks. These are both the two I have this one, and then I have the black Is That Godzilla. Both of these shirts, very high quality for the price. I think these were, what, 25 a piece? Very impressed with how these feel.
Just realized we were matching.
Yeah. I throw them on for a little bit. I decided I would wear one. They got to go and get their first wash, get them ready for, not next week, but the week after, get them ready for premiere day. So, God damn it. I lost my Monarch tart. Damn it.
Oh.
Shaw. Oh yeah, episode 2, a lot tamer than 1. 1 throws you in. It has the drama, it has the action, it has everything that needs to grab your eyes, and then 2 is more of an actual a story. It pulls the story out. It starts creating the branches for what the overarching plots are going to be, because now we're at least getting 50s flashbacks. With Randa, we've got 2 different ones. With Bill Randa, Shaw, Keiko. We have 52 and 59. I'm going to guess there's more. I'm guessing Shaw is going to get flashback after flashback after flashback after flashback. I'm sure they're just going to keep hammering him. My wife's and shirts are coming soon. Sweatshirt. Nice. There you go. Almost ready. Awesome, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see the action-packed episode of 3. I feel like it's going to be a hot episode and then a slow burner, hot episode, slow burner, until we get to the last like few episodes, and then it's just going to be twist after twist after twist after twist after twist. I don't know. I'm excited. I like that I don't know what's going on, even though I could.
I'm a huge fan of how well Apple has kept us under wraps too. Not only with just the lead up, usually movies just spill left and right. Like if you know where to find it, there's a lot of stuff about New Empire, but there's nothing nothing for Monarch.
Mhm.
And my fellow members of the press, thank you for keeping it that way. Even reviews that I've read by other people, nothing. It's great.
Yeah. I think I've kind of dabbled in some. I dabbled in yours a little bit, and I'm pretty impressed that it's pretty quiet because once -1 had its not its red carpet premiere, but it had its premiere on the first or the 31st of October when it had it right before November 3rd. It had
Tokyo International Film
yeah,
Festival.
yep, and that one was less like directors and stuff, people who would leak that movie, and that's when we started getting details for it, you know. But Monarch, it was not like that, and I have to shout out KaijuUnited and the rest of the kaiju reporters and even the big professionals ones like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes for not spoiling this. There, something tells me that there's a reason why they don't want us spoiling, you know, and that's where it's all going to come down to. There's a reason why they don't want us to know, and that's very exciting because Godzilla versus Kong, there was no mystery. Talk about the Toy Fair of 2018. Mechagodzilla's already there. I roll.
I remember that.
The first trailer, Mechagodzilla's in the first trailer.
Because he is.
Yep, the first.
I said
opening
up and
shots.
down that was him, and no one believed me. I'm like, that's him.
Yeah. So it's nice to see Legendary, Apple, and just the IP of the MonsterVerse taking themselves seriously again. We kind of know New Empire is probably not going to be this serious, but if we could get a TV show like Monarch in between movies that keeps up this serious stick, and we can just have one and then the other, I think hopefully they'll feed the fans.
They could take this into multiple seasons if they wanted to. Like, this is all speculation. This is not wink, wink like some other journalists may do. This is just lingo hoping. The show is Monarch. They could do anything revolving around the 60-year history of Monarch. Like, they could go back to the 90s and do Houston Brooks's kid going back to Skull Island, but adapt that into a television show.
Yes.
They could do anything with this. They could keep the kids they have right now. Just keep them going. They gotta at least fill the gap between G14 and G19. And then we have a gap between G19 and GBK.
Yep.
So if they're using the shows to fill in the little jumps. Oh, yes, I did read that, Luis. I'll talk about that. So there was an interview with Newsweek that dropped with the showrunners, and they asked them about the dragon in episode 2. And
right.
Yeah, the Ion Dragon is what it's called, I guess, by canon. But they kind of said that they thought about putting a Toho monster in that place. And they said, if we're going to do a Toho monster, it needs to make sense with the story we're telling.
Yep.
And just throwing it in right there just didn't make any sense. So they said, let's just do it original. And they came up with the dragon.
Yep.
So I ask you guys, what Toho monster do you think could have fit?
We're talking about the one with like the slime inside of the ship, right?
Yep, the Ion Dragon. Pretty much the cliffhanger of episode 2, the blue dragon at the end, which is the Ion Dragon.
Hang on, let me go check again, because that design reminded me of the Griffin from the Scrap 94 film. Looks a lot like. Yeah.
Yeah, when you say that, the head, the wings, yeah. That could have been.
I'll probably post a side-by-side comparison soon on my account, but it definitely looks a lot like it. It might have been coincidental, maybe not, maybe a nice little nod, but
Yeah,
I liked
it
it.
could have been. It could have been.
For a
It's
for a Toho monster, I'm not so sure. I could see why they just wanted to go all original.
Kamacuras.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Instead
That
of a cool looking
parasite,
dragon.
that little parasite from '84.
Yeah, the
Chakras.
84.
Shocker.
Chakras, yes. I didn't know it had a name. My bad.
No, it does.
I think Manda
yeah.
would have been a cool scene for the boat.
That's what Luis was saying. He just said Manda.
Manda.
That would have been
Oh, wow.
cool. I'm thinking
Manda or
Hunting Varan. I'm like, dude, the wings, that shot in the trailer where it's flying over the sky, that's Varan.
See, if we happen, speculation, if we happen to get a Toho character, I would hope it would be a Titan-sized fight, so it could fight Godzilla.
Yes.
Varan would be my wet dream. I feel like this
That
would
might
be
be another
like,
reason they decided against it, because the Eye of Dragon's kind of small. It's like a big beast, but it's not as big as Godzilla.
Yeah.
And shrinking down an iconic Toho monster to that size might not sit well with at least the kaiju base wouldn't like that very much, I think.
Yeah.
You know what Toho monster would have been great?
Aguma?
You know that scene where Godzilla rises from like the desert?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been Anguirus, like the monster that maybe he might fight. I don't know. That would have been cool.
Anguirus would be up there too. Which we technically do have.
Anguirus needs to be next in line for the MonsterVerse, regardless. Like,
Yeah.
we've gone a movie, a show, and a movie so far. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
But at least with the media we know about, a movie, a show, and a movie within the MonsterVerse without any of the classic monsters that made Godzilla, you know? It's cool to get stuff like Behemoth and the Ion Dragon because it's brand new, fresh, cool monsters for the world to enjoy. But you're telling me 19 was our only chance?
It can't be. I mean,
No.
I'm all for returning classic monsters, but don't force it down our throats, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Don't overdo
and
it.
That's where 2019, I think, did the right thing, where it's like, okay, so we have Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and then the rest of the kaiju are all unique MonsterVerse kaiju. But at the same time, now it's like with this show, with New Empire, like we do need some. we even if it's just like a shot, it's like take the Doug scene in Godzilla vs. Kong. 3 seconds. Look at how
Everyone
big.
loves him.
Look at that big. How big Doug is. Doug has got a shirt. He has got fucking. I think he's got like a page or two in the concept book, and they talk about like how he was like a Manila-esque kind of reference. Not that he is Manila, but it's a reference to him.
No. What if Doug is the real character? What if Doug was the real villain of the MonsterVerse?
Bro, if they brought out a Godzilla-sized Doug for the end of it, I'd be cheering. I'd be cheering more than I still
He's
do.
been out on Hollow Earth and a giant dog just like slurps up an army guy.
Speaking of
I would
Hollow
be
Earth,
screaming. Oh yeah.
I love that subtle reference in episode 1 where they mentioned like the government drilling a hole to hell.
Yeah,
I consider that like a reference to Hollow Earth.
Definitely
so that
is.
was great. Yeah.
I would say just kind of knowing that the show probably isn't going to be too complicated, probably is going to be a reference because we don't know what those insectoid kaijus were.
They got name dropped.
Did they get name dropped?
I don't remember right now, but yeah, they got a name drop.
Shit.
Which ones?
I honestly thought those were like the mini Mutos before they got hatched because the eggs kind of looked familiar.
The eggs did look like the Muto ones, but they had at least 6 legs.
We've seen the Muto baby silhouettes, and these are completely different.
Yeah, it's a little different shaped. These look almost cockroach shaped. So maybe
Meganulons.
Meganulons. Meganulons would be a
That'd be
cute.
crazy.
The little guys in episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a name. I could find it. They have a name.
Yeah. Would be
Was it
perfect
the,
for the shoot. Yeah, maybe a season 2. Weren't the eggs of Muto?
It's
Well,
like
see, but Muto isn't a species because, as the show also revealed, when they go down that hole, they looked at the eggs and they said it's an unidentified Muto organism. And as the show has kind of revealed, Muto is not the 2014 kaiju are called Muto, but that's not like their name. That's just their tag.
Blanket term.
Because
massive
they use,
unidentified terrestrial organism.
and that's where kind of legendary. That's a plot hole. I mean, it's just plain and simple. They don't have a name for it, and now like as merch, they're called Mutos and the toys and the Prime and the Queen. But now we also know that's what they call all the kaiju. So that's where it's a little weird, but it's a minor thing. And it's the same thing. I messaged Jacob when I started watching the episode. I messaged him as the intro was playing, and I was like, okay, I'm under the influence, but it doesn't make sense that this notebook got dropped in Skull Island, which is supposed to be on the Florida side of the states. It's supposed to be past Florida and Cuba. It's supposed to be kind of like down in that range.
Yes.
How did that get all the way to Japan? Besides the fact that it's been years and years and years.
So I just checked our press drops because I posted photos of the monsters because Apple was really nice and gave us some photos. They are called endoswarmers, ENDO swarmer.
Ooh.
So they're endoswarmers.
Which looks, she thought they look like mites.
Yeah, I think they act like them because they, if I recall correctly, they kind of combine like ants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, yeah, and that's how they kill the doctor. They all climb up. They World War Z themselves up to her leg, and then yeet her down. Which that they could be something that they're born and then they attach to the kaiju themselves, which would be really cool. It could be like Cloverfield with the what the hell are they called in that? I think they're just called parasites. The clover parasites, where they're falling off and then they're doing extra damage. So that's could be something where they attach to the 2014 Muto species because they don't really seem pro-humanity. So it's just another way of clearing smaller organisms.
It was nice to see Mother Longlegs come back.
Yes.
A little fight.
Oh, with that mantle claw was freaking awesome. It was so cool.
Since you got the names, is the rock kaiju that comes out, is that supposed to be pretty much in the same family as the sand ones in the animated Skull Island? That's what I thought. That was almost a direct reference, being like they're similar or they're the exact same thing. It's just the material that they used to camouflage.
I'll find out. I just know that they're called mantle claw. I didn't really. I need to finish the Skull Island anime.
Oh, Jacob.
Oh,
I'm telling you, the end of it is so good.
okay, that's good to hear.
Especially like the last fight. The last fight is
Surprisingly well done.
Is very, very well done. Big fan. They're doing it right.
Even Wikizilla says that there are similarities to the rock critters from Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah. So then, because that would be the other reference, the one that Doug eats.
Yes.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So that's almost a double. So yeah, that's nice. Which it all makes sense because Skull Island is supposed to be a ground zero way to Hollow Earth. Although interestingly enough, I think it's only mentioned in the Kong comic, but it hasn't been shown yet that how direct it is to Hollow Earth, which now Hollow Earth is pretty much destroyed. So because of
Yeah.
Quetzal, no, not Quetzal, Tiamat, right? Is that who Kong fights? Or does he fight Quetzalcoatl?
Tiamat, I think it's the big scroll crawler.
What are we talking about?
So in the Kong comic book that came out before Godzilla versus Kong, it's in the 90s. It like when Jacob said when Brooks and them go back to Skull Island, it sets that up, and there's a kaiju that comes out and it controls the weather once again. And that's why Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong is a self-destructive storm, because that kaiju unleashes it. It creates a typhoon around it. Kong kills it, and then it doesn't take it away. It just becomes a permanent effect of the island. And then I think they also mentioned something about, because it's also supposed to be a connection to Hollow Earth, they're pretty much just taking Skull Island out to set up for 2021, kind of. It's not full stated, but it's also not like not stated as well. They just needed a plot device, which is fine. I should have read those again, the comic books, to get
I haven't
brushed
read
up.
any of them.
They're good. After the three newest ones that have come out, Aftershock, the Kong book, and the Godzilla book, especially the newer Godzilla one, is nice. Very nice. I got it right here, actually. I definitely recommend it. This one's nice.
Yeah, I gotta pick them up.
Dominion. That's what it is. Because who does he fight? Because this is the Mudo. Godzilla fights. Oh, the blue thing. The ocean.
Bootleg Manda.
Thing. Yeah. He fights. Well, here's Tiamat. So, yeah, he fights Tiamat. He fights a Mudo form in here. He fights Kraken from Skull Island.
Is that really?
Kind of, that's what it looks like, but I don't think it names it, because it's just going over things Godzilla
Manda.
just
We're gonna rebrand it as Manda.
Yeah, because they pretty much, this just, it goes into the details that the intro of Kong does, where it's like Godzilla's just going around blitzing Titans to put them all away, because Godzilla wants to be the only one up. Yeah. Because Godzilla's an asshole. Monster vs. Godzilla is literally just an asshole. That's all it is. He's just an asshole.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. That's my favorite portrayal of Godzilla. I love Godzilla 64 because he's just kind of a clumsy dick.
Yep.
He just, he wakes up in the morning, he's like,
Surprise Mudo Prime battle. I would hope so as well. Even if it's not very long. Even if it's not very long, I hope they bring one of the comic book fights and at least show some of it. Just as a fun reference, or a reimagining of it, or a reference. I would agree. I think the show needs to end on Godzilla fighting a larger Titan. What do you think, Joseph? Do you think we're getting it?
What was the question again? I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. We were going. Do you think we'll get a larger kaiju fight in Monarch? So like Godzilla versus something. So like a reference to one of the 4 comic books, or something completely different. Oh, you don't?
If they build up to it, and they just don't do it randomly at some important points of the story, I'm down for it. That's what I think the desert scene might be. When Godzilla rises from the desert and whatnot. Maybe that might be it. I don't know, but
okay.
As long as it's well executed, then I hope for the best.
Yeah, which it could be, it could not be. We've heard rumors that the trailer reveals nothing after 6.
Yeah.
So press release was episode 8, and then the trailer is supposed to only be 6. Supposedly.
Yes, that's correct.
That is okay. So I kind of figured. So there's probably a lot of buildup that we don't know about, and I agree with you, Joseph. They
Jacob,
should.
Smiling.
He's just,
You smirking, giggling, kicking your feet in the air.
Yep. The desert scene is the 2019 design, which we do know because of Aftershock. He's at least with those back plates, at least in 2018 and maybe 2017. So a sort of Muto fight is possible. Maybe Queen at the end of King of Monsters. Maybe that. Well, no, that's when she first reawakens, so that wouldn't make sense. It'd have to be something new.
I
Or a
trust
Toho
the show.
Kaiju.
I think it'll build up to something.
Mm-hmm.
The show
Angus.
knows exactly what it wants to do. I have full faith that if there is a Kaiju fight, it'll be nice.
I appreciated the Kong little cameo with the 8mm film at the beginning of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the episode. I think it was 8mm. All you film freaks out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. You know, John Goodman's camera,
Is that 8mm?
Joseph.
No, I mean, if it was 8mm, it would have been black and white. Most likely 16, since it was.
You just posted 8mm footage on your Instagram and it was in color.
Oh fuck yeah, I forgot. I'm not really an expert in this. I'm like my mind a bit boggled right now, but
No, that's okay.
It's all good.
Maybe.
I just thought I'd ask.
Who knows? Maybe.
Anyways, the grainy film footage at the beginning of the show was a really nice touch. Everything from John Goodman's camera. Just seeing Kong again was really nice.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
it looked like they touched him up a little bit too, because I remember the fur on Skull Island looked pretty good, but the fur in GBK looked incredible.
Big step up.
So I think the fur was touched up a little bit for this show, so it wasn't just like stock footage. And it's now that I point that out, hey, stock footage in the Godzilla series continues to this day.
Yay!
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys talked about it yet, but I really appreciate how grounded Monarch is.
Oh, I love it.
It's kind of shocking how not a lot of people like it. I've seen on Facebook.
I think that's because they were going in expecting, you know, hey, we're Monarch. We're going to go hunt Godzilla down in the first episode, and then Godzilla's going to fight Quetzalcoatl, and then he's going to go Godzilla the series, everybody. So they're just on a wild goose chase as Godzilla fights a monster once a week.
Question. Do we know what episode they're going to show the Lucky Dragon test?
Oh, I know what you mean. The
it was
Castle
in the trailer.
Bravo.
Castle Bravo, yeah. Whatever the code name was when they tried to nuke G14.
Yes, but I can't tell you.
I'm assuming 4 or 5.
People are confused about the Golden Gate Bridge. Think the black People think the black bus driver. Oh my god, dyslexic as hell. Couldn't make it for the show and switched him out with the way
he was on a different bus. The other guy stepped on the gas and drove off.
How are people not exactly?
It should be
there were multiple buses on that bridge.
Yeah, no, it's completely different because we know
Who cares?
the bridge that has the kid in 2014 makes it off because there's a deleted scene where the kid and the dad are actually reunited before the stadium.
Yep.
And then he goes off to do the train side of the Hellfighter or the Hell Drop mission. But yeah, that was a completely different bus because it has to be
because the other bus
that's where Godzilla blows through it.
It wouldn't even make sense if it was the same bus.
Yeah. Which, Matt, we did kind of talk about it because I did pretty early on talk about like one of the hot scenes in this show is the bus scene. That first, it still gives me goosebumps thinking that in the Monsterverse we have a scene where we see a girl, freaking out, gets off the bus. She's trying to help her students off the bus, and then we see most of them fall off a bridge and die. They broke one of the rules. They killed kids pretty openly. That to me is just like, that's some balls, and I like it. The show needs it.
Most of the show is I know they had writers and directors for each episode, but a good chunk of the writing was done by Matt Fraction. And if you were in the comic book world, he did a lovely run on Hawkeye that was just adapted into a Disney Plus TV show. So really, probably the definitive run on Hawkeye in the comic books was done by the same writer.
Okay. Interesting. People are saying that Apple TV and the writers messed up big time, when in reality, people are just complaining.
Nah.
People are just complaining.
Why didn't Monarch have Godzilla show up for each episode's 45 minutes? Why couldn't they just pay for 45 minutes of CGI for 10 episodes? So it's 45 times 10. Let's do the math.
I hate math.
How
dare you?
450 minutes.
Yeah.
Hours.
Finally, a studio kills kids on screen. Great move. Yeah.
That is 7.5 hours of television. You're telling me that they're going to pay for 7.5 hours of Godzilla CGI?
Hell yeah.
It's very expensive.
Laser beams.
They've already talked about in both of the last Monsterverse movies that Godzilla is a pain in the ass to animate. And especially in Godzilla vs. Kong, because the whole fucking crawling scene. Yeah,
they did not.
And the nice thing about the kids getting killed, it's like they're not just doing it as a shock value. It
means something.
It puts Kate in this wonderful position of, I don't want to say relatability, but like she feels like a real character. Like we realize when she's sitting down at the thought of an ideal of Godzilla coming and attacking Tokyo while she's there puts her in a complete disarray, which she's already being strained because she's finding out her father is a cheating bastard. But then it's like, go Joseph.
They did with what they did with Kate. They should have done that with Millie Bobby Brown's character, but they didn't.
I would agree. Or something at least similar.
Millie was on one of the buses and she got off and her classmates all perished. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was...
I mean, that's her brother, though.
What?
Yeah, her whole family died. Well, not her entire family. Her mom died.
Her brother died. Yeah, her brother was there in San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see the PTSD effect in GVK when she appears. It's just,
Or even in King of the Monsters, because King of the Monsters, it's the mom and dad are the ones that are really suffering, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
So I can understand with Godzilla vs. Kong, but yeah, there's a huge downgrade in her character's writing from that film. But the whole Godzilla human team, Godzilla vs. Kong story arc is kind of questionable anyways. So, but yeah, it does feel weird that she doesn't have at least something. Like, I get it. She's young. She's supposed to be like this very strong-headed character, which is what her as an actress, that's what she plays best. Because 11 doesn't have a lot of fear in Stranger Things. A lot, except for the last season, which, season 4, not season 5, season 4 with Vecna and stuff. But yeah, they should have done something extra for her character, and I feel like that's being corrected through Kate's character. I think Kentaro is probably going to go through something. I just got a really bad feeling about his mom.
Same.
I hate to say that, but I don't think I want to make sure I got her name right. Emiko. Something just tells me not gonna make it. Or maybe she will make it, but maybe something that's not great. Hope we see the Russells back in the show.
That'd be cool.
The father, at least, maybe.
I personally don't care for the Russells.
Mark wouldn't make sense because at this point in the timeline, he's a drunk.
Oh.
And Emma would be the only one, but I feel like with how King of the Monsters made Emma seem like she was up there with Serizawa and like the big heads of Monarch, I feel like if they're gonna have Emma, they would have Serizawa. And kind of like we discussed earlier, Serizawa would be wonderful. I just don't think it's going to happen. I want it to.
Deeply curious because a lot of people that have info have said that this series is very important in the lead up to Godzilla and X Kong, the New Empire. And this show had to release before that movie, supposedly.
Yep.
I'm curious as to why and how it leads up and why it needs to be released before.
Russells are underrated. I would say Mark, out of all the characters in Godzilla vs. Kong, Mark's character probably had the worst slaying of what he was from King of the Monsters. Like the fact that he's not even really in it is just frustrating because it really seems like Mark is the new head of Monarch because he got Serizawa's journal. That's how I still to this day interpret that scene. So the fact that he's the new head of Monarch and he's pretty much just not there is heartbreaking.
I might have forgotten, but did they mention any returning cast members for New Empire?
Bernie. Getting Bernie.
For New Empire.
Yeah. Bernie's in
no
it.
way.
And this isn't confirmed. This is just the whispers, but we don't know because Monarch's not over, but Kurt Russell is also supposedly on that list.
Bernie's on the list.
Getting Gia,
yep,
Bernie, and the girl that Gia's with.
Yep. Team Kong besides Alexander Skarsgård. So the Kong Whisperer, as she's called on the New York Times, I believe, or the National Geographic cover, Gia, Bernie, and then, you know, like we said, we could see Kurt Russell. I would assume probably more of a flashback to Monarch to do that whole stock footage thing. I feel like just as like an intro cameo, kind of like what Marvel does, how they, depending on what movie, they throw all the old ones in and they throw scenes. I feel like that probably would be all that it is. Such that Mark's character just gets.
The only confirmed cast right now is Bernie.
Why are you laughing at my boy Bernie?
What did he do to you?
Out of that team, Bernie
wasn't
is
expecting it.
The best character on the Godzilla human side.
You gonna let me die here with you, ass Summer?
Yeah.
What
Also,
if Bernie
imagine
made a cameo in Monarch?
Okay, they kind of dropped this little nugget with that cab driver saying it was a hoax. Maybe the cab driver listens to the podcast.
Bro, so you want all the cast, or at least surviving cast members, to make it. So Brody, I don't think we'll ever see Brody again.
Brody's not going to come back.
Even as a reference, I don't think it's going to happen.
So we got Dan Stevens, who's a new character. He's basically replacing Skarsgård, I think. Rebecca Hall will be back as Eileen. Bernie's back. Gia has confirmed she's back. And then
Brody was in
Paula
King of the
Chen,
Monsters?
Alex Burns, Rachel House. Where do I know these
There was a
people?
ship named after Ford, Brody, but I don't think it was a character. It was a USS Ford.
Yep. Which, I mean, Ford is a pretty basic name. It could also be referencing the company and General. Well, hopefully not General Ford. But yeah. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff. I do want a big group cast. I agree with you, Lewis. I don't see Brody because 2014 feels very like, even with Monarch now, 14 feels really cut off from the rest because 14 was supposed to be just by itself. And then if it did well, which it ended up doing, then we got more. So to me, like 2014, even now that we have Monarch, which is trying to connect storylines to it, and we're getting flashbacks, 2014 just feels cut off from everything cast wise. But maybe we'll see. I'd be fine with Brody making just a quick cameo.
Yeah.
Like having a big like government meeting, having them sit down and hopefully having the world government finally figure out with Monarch what they're doing with Kaiju, and having the general back, having Brody back, having these King of the Monsters Monarch members, even if they're only in their first second. Some of the people like Bernie from Godzilla vs. Kong and now New Empire, and hopefully the wonderful cast of new characters that we'll be getting, and then characters that we haven't gotten a lot of love with from King of the Monsters. Like, it's still weird Brooks isn't really mentioned a lot still, even though he's in King of the Monsters. Now, if there's a season 2, give us a Mothra, a few episodes on Mothra and that whole division. That is something I would see, because I don't think they'll make Rodan her own, or I don't think Rodan or Mothra will get their own movies. I don't see it. I know a lot of the people that do the Marvel timelines and stuff, like the fan-made stuff, they put both of them in there. I don't see it. It's
Destroy All Monsters Part 1 and 2.
That is realistic to me. Like, if we could get a big bad kaiju that's not just done in one movie, or hypothetical Mecha King Ghidorah, or a hypothetical Mecha Godzilla 2, something like that.
Gorosaurus, dude. Gorosaurus.
Gorosaurus, Kamacuras. Oh wait, the flying condor.
I would like to see more. Before they do a big finale like that, I would like to see more Toho monsters.
Yeah, I do think, even if it's just like they're showing up for a few minutes, or we get like maybe like cutaway footage of Godzilla like beating down Anguirus, finally seeing the Rodan fight that should have already been made into something, or is coming in Monarch. Maybe that would be my hope. That would be a final battle with Godzilla versus Rodan would be super cool, but you just can't tell me at the intro of a movie or the book of Godzilla versus Kong that Godzilla goes and sidelines everyone that's still alive, and not give me a fight with Godzilla versus Rodan, or I don't want to say Behemoth, but like, people want the Behemoth fight. I don't get the hype behind Behemoth. It's just a big elephant.
The sloth elephant, dude. It's badass.
Like, it is cool. It's a wonderful design. Like the Spiral Studios one that just recently came out helps bring out that character. I just don't get the love. It almost gets as much love as some of the lower tiered Toho kaiju.
I don't get the Space Godzilla love.
I don't know if Space Godzilla fits. I realize that from 2014 we've dropped the whole realistic-ish style storytelling, and they've just gone balls to the wall. But Space Godzilla is just, dude, that's tough.
I'm still waiting for my Ren Zarazawa Exilian story with Gigan invasions to happen in the MonsterVerse.
That's the thing. Like, is this going to go as long as the MCU? Probably not. I would say that this MonsterVerse will be done. Well, I guess next year is 10 years. Maybe another 10. But they would have to start teasing an alien invasion like now for me. Otherwise, it's just like it's going to be Rise of Skywalker, and it's just going to be opening text.
Yeah. To be fair, one thing I do like about the MonsterVerse is something I read on Twitter today, is that they're a lot like other Godzilla movies where I don't need to watch every single movie in the MonsterVerse. I can just get my one experience watching each of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I've seen them all, there's cool little connected tidbits.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can jump into Godzilla vs. Kong and just watch it. You don't have to start at the beginning and watch every single thing. Monarch is a great show because it's written in a way that you don't really have to watch Godzilla 14. But if you have, it enhances it. That's my thoughts on that.
Unless they build up on it, the one thing with Monarch, I feel like watching Skull Island is a benefit because the intro doesn't, you really don't know with Bill. And I get that they're building Bill separately from the past, but I feel like that's really a lot for us because he was a popular character from Kong Skull Island. So I feel like maybe that's the one, maybe, but I mean, even still, you get it. And they're introducing it, and I'm sure there's more down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the part where Bill becomes the head of Monarch and the creation of Monarch. I feel like that has to be a flashback.
True. That's a good point.
Because it really seems like Shaw is also a pretty integral part to that. And then maybe have a Brooks cameo. I would appreciate that. Now looking at it, it's when does he enter the fray to become as trusted as he is in Kong Skull Island?
Do we think that this is going to be released in physical media? This show?
No.
Oh,
they could.
I hope
seen streaming shows get releases, but
regrettably, I don't think so. No.
I don't think so.
We haven't gone Singular Point, and I know that's Netflix, but when it comes to properties, Japanese properties, or just foreign properties coming over to the US, even if it's a US based property, it normally doesn't.
Man.
Unless it's an anime. That's it. Castlevania is one of the only things. Disney Plus is finally starting to get it in their heads that people want to buy their shows. WandaVision came out, and Loki season 1.
Yeah. Mandalorian.
Mando got one?
Mando.
Yeah. Season 1. 1 and 2.
It got announced. I don't think it's actually out yet. But tease Space Godzilla now. All right. Would just as the hypothesis, because the two big bad ending kaiju that have been theorized, or I guess it's 3. Would you rather have Space Godzilla, Biollante, or Destroya? Joseph.
I wouldn't consider Biollante as a big bad.
They could make her one though.
She's just been teased since 2014. People have been saying Biollante's guaranteed to be in, and then we've had that fan art or concept art. I believe it's fan art because the Godzilla design doesn't quite fit. That's been around. Everyone wants. I feel like I do hear Space Godzilla and Destroya almost equally.
Destroya, yeah. If anyone's going to be the big bad, I really think that Destroya might be the one.
Yeah, for the future of the MonsterVerse, not talking about Monarch. For an end game situation, I feel like Destroya probably.
Back to what you were saying about the longevity of the MonsterVerse, I think there's a lot of, as long as Toho's happy, the MonsterVerse will continue.
Well, they've come out and said as long as you keep seeing these movies and we keep making money, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, literally. We
Wasn't
get
there
more
a rumor?
shows.
Wasn't there a rumor that GVK was supposed to be the last MonsterVerse film?
So load of donkey doo doo.
Uh-huh.
Well, there is a cut of the movie that's supposed to leave it kind of open-ended, which is pretty much just how they arranged the ending, because technically the credits were supposed to roll right before Kong drops the axe at the beach. That's what they initially planned on. And then the mid-credit scene would have been Kong looking at the axe, dropping the axe, Godzilla, once again, or no, excuse me, it's after he drops the axe and Godzilla's just roaring at him on the beach. It's supposed to end there because we're not supposed to know what Godzilla does to Kong. But then they changed that and they were just like, just in case this doesn't do well, we're just going to release it all and leave it as is. Because, I mean, if Godzilla vs. Kong was the last film, the ending's fine. Kong takes over Hollow Earth. Godzilla rides off into the sea with Kong being the only Titan not in hibernation, but he's not in Godzilla's territory.
Yeah.
The original post-credit scene for GVK was Kong in the Hollow Earth, but they just made that the actual ending.
Yeah. And then they didn't do another one. Kind of like how they stole that Mothra credit scene and
I would have loved that. And I know it wouldn't really make sense because
hopefully Destroyer doesn't get taken down by military aircraft. I still don't understand why that's the ending Toho chose, because we do have the other scene where Godzilla the spiral ray just keeps growing and getting bigger, and then he just destroys Destroyer. Yeah, cheers to Godzilla vs. Kong bringing back our theaters in the pandemic.
Yes.
Thanks to that movie. But at the same time, we also got a bunch of retro movies in regular theaters. Like, I didn't have to drive to where I live now to see, if I wanted to see like Jurassic Park or Gremlins, I could have just went to the theater and just watched them because that's what they had.
Yeah.
We are getting a little sidetracked though. I didn't get actually
discussion.
Yeah, which, I mean, it fits. I'll ask Matt and Jacob here because they didn't get to answer this question. What do you guys think of the first 2 episodes?
Matt, you go first.
As a whole.
For me, it's almost a 10 out of 10. I mean, I was a little skeptical at first with the younger characters in 2015. I was like, God, everyone's being an ass to each other and the personalities are clashing, but the chemistry comes out slowly. I like them. So far, like every character, I think there's no one I really don't care for. Bill Randa's actor, the young guy, I don't know the actor's name. Fantastic. I love
Anders Holm. Yeah, Anders Holm.
Yep, Anders Holm. He's
so much charisma. The moment you see him on screen, I loved him.
Yeah, he's just so engaging, likable. I think the whole cast is pretty likable. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
I even like Joe Tippett's character a little bit. He's kind of fun.
I'm excited.
I hope Tim comes back or is more involved. Jacob, how do you feel about just the first 2 episodes?
Just the first 2. I really like the first episode. I think it's phenomenal, incredibly engaging, well written. It's a perfect pilot episode. It tells you everything you want to know, everything you want to see.
Godzilla's there.
Godzilla shows up. You get your Godzilla. Please stop complaining about screen time.
20 seconds, I think. More than I thought. I didn't think he would be in until later.
Yeah, some people thought he wouldn't show up to like episode 8.
Good Lord.
Singular point.
Oh yeah, singular point.
Even though his forms were there. But.
Episode 2 is I gotta think. They're kind of blurring together for me, so I gotta be careful.
Episode
ends
2 is
It ends with the
the island.
dragon, right?
Yep. That's the 52 timeline, and then the 2015 present timeline ends with them meeting Shaw and deciding that they're going to go with him.
That's right.
Which then I'm sure, you know, and you don't have to comment since you do know this, pretty much leads into the scene that you got to share a clip of. We got 60 seconds of episode 3, which is a very, very fun
It's a fun clip. I don't know if you guys saw it. We got to share an exclusive clip on KaijuUnited from episode 3.
I have not
So
seen it
good.
yet.
It's so good.
And it's just Kurt Russell showing off his charisma. That is in episode 3, but it's not right away.
hmm
Okay.
It's not immediately. It's in there just maybe like 5 minutes in.
Okay. I kind of figured like it would be closer to the beginning than the end.
Yeah, it is. It's on the way to Alaska.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good clip. You guys should check it out. It's Kurt Russell just showing why he's a devious secret agent, formerly of Monarch, maybe formerly. Who knows? We don't know much about him right now.
Yep. Formerly is he an air pilot or is he in the Marines? He says it.
He's an Army guy.
Oh, okay. So he's in the general. Okay, he's Army.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Lieutenant Colonel in the Army.
Lieutenant Colonel. Okay. Yep.
I think so.
And I'm sure he's gonna probably get a promotion too. Well, I guess probably not since he's being sent off on weird missions in 52.
I like the banter and the chemistry. Like I liked that initially Lee Shaw was just like really kind of a dick in the 50s. And then they kind of, as their missions go on, the three of them kind of get that bond a little bit. You start seeing it form by the end of episode 2. Like when he comes back and they're like, oh my goodness, there's a dragon.
It is really, the whole scene where they're reacting to Ion is so good. So good. And you can see one thing just as speculation, you know, his character, I don't quite know where it's going, but when he utters that line and the way he looks at the dragon, you can tell his brain is going,
oh shit, they're not crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's that. They're not crazy, but you know, Samuel L. Jackson's character, Army guy. What does he want to do? Defend America. It's a typical movie trait. So to me, I feel like he's either going to do really good or really bad, which we don't know. I wonder if we're going to get any figures for the show.
I get some like Haya or Spiral stuff of like the mantle claw.
I think Haya's.
Spiral.
I think it's only Haya.
You don't think Spiral would?
Matt, maybe. I
forgot.
We'll see.
So I could see Haya making an Ion Dragon though.
Yeah, that one would be easy to make. I just don't know how much it'll sell.
I think Haya might.
The guy who did the Doug articulated figure, he might be able to do some.
That's true. Yeah, I forget his Instagram handle, but he was selling the Doug kits at G-Fest. To the line at G-Fest, not at a table, at the line.
I wish I knew that. Did until it was sold out. But that's a different story.
Is he doing 94 right now? Or is that another guy?
I can't remember what he's doing.
Yeah, it was someone was making an articulated scrap 94 Godzilla design figure.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The I forget who the director, the designer for that was. The Winston?
And Winston.
And Winston.
Yeah, the same Winston design. good design, by the way. I guess one thing that somehow we've not really talked about, how much of a treat is it to have Dad Russell and Son Russell portray the same character, and just how much it works.
So
Does
cool.
work.
The
It
best-
is one of
Go ahead.
it is like an obvious choice. I feel like if they would have chose, if it wouldn't have been Russell as the past one, it would have been weird, but it just really, really, really works. I'm a big fan of it. I like when movies do that,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not like a
Jokingly,
serious thing.
I was about to say this is the best use of nepotism.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, which I mean, they both can act. They both can. I mean, obviously Kurt Russell can act, but his son is also really, really good in this show. Past Lee Shaw is impressive. I really want to see more. I want to see more. I'm excited for the new episode. I'm happy it's coming out early, but then I'm also sad that because it's coming out early, it's going to take longer to get to 4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's quite unfortunate.
But I guess to sum it up for me, I'm very impressed with Monarch. I made a joke after getting done with the first 2 episodes that it's the best MonsterVerse release so far, and I'm saying that only after 2 episodes. But like, I really like looking at it critically. Easily, this is the best quality product. Is it the actual best? I think once we have all 10 episodes, probably, but I really do love. So each episode is dropping on Wednesday or Thursdays. So episode 3 drops on Wednesday because of Thanksgiving and Black Friday, but they already confirmed that episode 4 will restart on Fridays. So that would be
Oh, dang.
where's that Friday? Looking at the calendar, week, month, year. So we'll get this episode on the 22nd, and then the next episode will be December 1st,
Ooh,
and then so on and so forth.
Before as
Minus
the-
Monday.
Yeah. Monarch is a
What?
little appetizer before -1.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. We'll get a little appetizer, and then supposedly we were also supposed to be getting New Empire's trailer December 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I did not know about that.
That is a rumor I've heard.
I'm pretty sure the screenshot I sent in our chat, I'm pretty sure was a Spanish. I believe it was a Spanish confirmation.
Cool.
I think because it had a few legendary, a few people from Legendary, but that was the rumor I heard was December anyways. Should be fine on Fridays. Then I'll just watch those episodes on Friday morning. Yeah, because they dropped at midnight Pacific time, didn't they? All the
Yes,
episodes.
they always
Okay,
do. Yeah.
so I'm glad that they're doing that. They're not doing the Netflix thing where it comes out at like they used to do 10 a.m. Gross, my time. I'm fine with the midnight drops because it lets all of us night hawks do it, or I can watch it an episode before work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm ready for the show to be done in the way of I want to watch it all, but there was no way I was going to be able just to binge it. I know my friend Christian, he said he's going to wait till all 10 episodes are out and then he's just going to watch it straight through. I don't have the willpower.
That's trooper stuff.
That'll be hard
Respect.
to spoilers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's gone off all. I think he said today's his last day on Instagram, and he's not going to be on Facebook anymore.
We salute you, soldier. Goodbye.
Besides the new Empire trailer. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. So I would hold the date December 3rd. I wouldn't hold that one for truth but I have heard from many people, and I'm sure Jacob and Matt have heard the same. Well, actually, I know me and Matt did because we got told at the same time, or teased at the same time, that December was the trailer time. They just didn't have a timing. I'm in the group saying that we should get the trailer exclusively in front of -1 for the first few
Makes sense to
days.
me.
Yeah. I think it should be exclusively like the 29th, new Empire trailer, just either at the beginning or do it at the end.
Yeah.
Just do it for the first few days and then release it publicly, you know, pretty much how the San Diego Comic-Con trailers used to
Off
work.
topic, but I'm a little curious about the early fan event they've been marketing for -1.
Yeah.
Because like even
I'm-
Jim Ciaranella asked me like, "What's the difference?" And I was like, "I don't know."
There is a Q&A with the director and a few of the actors and actresses because they were collecting questions and answers on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I submitted a few
Oh
questions.
yeah.
Yep. So that's confirmed. But I feel like we might get the Empire trailer early. I would
Like,
really like
Is
it.
that what makes it a fan event screening?
Only real fans are going on the 29th.
Yeah. The nearest theater that's doing the 29th event, which these guys know is 80 miles away from here. And there's only 2 tickets purchased. 2. That's all that theater has.
My theater's empty. Only got 5 seats, not including mine.
Oh, 29th
Lucky
all the way.
dog.
Yeah.
Mine's
Yeah,
about
I have-
mine's about 80% full.
80.
We got some monster kids here.
I'm sure mine will fill up. It's a lot of people in South Dakota and like the upper Midwest seem to not buy tickets early. It's just they go early. Has about 15 seats taken. Yeah. So I'm sure mine will, because now I've told people, there's a lot of people that I know here in this town at like work and a few other places that have been asking about the 29th, and I was like, they're not doing it. Now I know they're not, because tickets would have had to go on sale by now. So, I mean, the last time I checked was last week. Yeah. So I think a lot of people in my areas are just going to go. But I'm excited to drive down there, see it. I have to, because like I said at the beginning of the stream with Joseph, there is 100% a -1 stream, a reaction stream. Once again, don't know if it probably won't be spoilers, because really the only way to mention spoilers is to talk about a scene by being blown away by it, or if you're going to just summarize the whole film. And I feel like we probably, on my channel at least, will probably wait with a live stream, but we'll see. I also don't want to do 2 live streams for the movie, because there's going to be a lot of repeating, because there's going to be a lot of, oh, well, this scene just blew me away, but we can't talk, like, detail it. And then that stream's just going to be like, well, this happens and here's what happens. And I don't want to repeat on you guys, but we'll see. It'll probably be the 29th or the 30th. Well, probably not the 29th. Time zones are going to be super weird for the movie. So probably the 30th. Maybe do
because I'll have Danny here.
Oh, that's true. We will have. Maybe I can.
My screening's at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, same.
I'm a little early.
I think mine's at 7 my time.
Dude.
Okay,
So that's
Gamex.
8.
Go ahead.
That's 8 your guys' time. Maybe what we can do is I'll be a little naughty, and we can do. No, that wouldn't work. I don't know how that would work in my car, because I could just not do video and just do audio, and just keep it where I put it, because I got like a dash thing. So when I'm using my maps and stuff, and then I can just not pay attention to the phone and just talk. But I feel like that's not good. Not a good not a good thing to do. So we'll figure something out. I got Thursday and Friday off, so maybe we'll just do a super late live stream talking about it. Maybe. We'll see. We'll get it to work. Because I know Jacob and Adam both are earlier than us. Jacob's 1 hour ahead of me. Adam's
Mountain
2
time.
Mountain time. Yeah. So but I do want to get as many people as I can talking about it because
Big deal.
Monarch is going to be good, and I think by the end of it, people are going to be blown away. But -1 is something.
-1 is the main event for us.
Yeah. If Empire was coming out this year, like let's say the movie was coming out in December, super weird time to release it. But let's just say if it was, I would still say -1 is the bigger release out of all the Godzilla stuff this year.
Definitely.
You know, it's coming from the homeland. It's getting really good responses everywhere. The LA premiere did really good. All of Japan is loving the movie. It's the biggest. It's bigger than Shin, and Shin was big. A lot of high hopes for -1. I'm doing a stream with Chris as well, most likely on Thursday after the 29th. There you go. Nice.
The fan events in New York completely sold out.
Wow. Well, it's New York.
It's New York.
Yeah. Not too surprising, but that's still good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's some places that are only getting this movie for the weekend, and then there's other places like I think Christine was talking about how her area only has it for a week. I think mine only has it for a week as well.
This is the part where everyone moves to New York. That way we can all hang out together.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I know I'm already slated to see it. Wednesday, I gotta buy my ticket, get my gas tank filled, get ready for it, and then I have tickets for the first showing here in my hometown, and then I'm gonna see the showing right after that because it only has 2 that day, and then I'm gonna see it, and then Friday I'm gonna see it at least once or twice.
I'm seeing it twice.
I think I'm gonna see it 5 times by the end of Friday, total.
I'm only
I
gonna
wish.
watch it once, and that'll be for the fan event.
Yeah,
Taking
we'll
my
see,
dad
though.
to see it because he's a bit of a fan himself.
Oh, how sweet!
Jacob, how many times are you gonna see it?
Am I seeing it?
Yeah, like let's just say till the first weekend till Sunday.
I have 1 ticket for Wednesday, 1 ticket for Thursday, 2 tickets for Friday.
You madman!
I cannot wait.
And I
To
might
see
go
your
Saturday
review.
with my parents.
I cannot wait to read your review when that comes out.
I'm actually giving Elijah Thomas, the KaijuUnited, opportunity to post the review for it. I'll review it because, it's me, but Elijah Thomas from Kaiju Ramen Magazine will be doing the first review for -1 for us.
Sweet. Well, Jacob, we'll have your in-depth review, hopefully here after premiere.
Where's he gonna watch it?
Hopefully. Yep.
We'll
After the 29th. We can do it.
I liked reviewing Monarch. I liked that I kind of rolled the dice. I'm like, I'll have this contributor do -1 just to give a curveball to everybody, and I'll tackle Monarch. And it kind of paid off.
Yeah.
Monarch is really good.
So. Monarch. I'm glad to hear that everyone who's seen it early is even telling the people who are still continually complaining about it, telling them just wait, watch it, you should get it. Like everyone seems pretty hyped on it. All the actual critics. I think it dropped down to an 85 on Rotten Tomatoes.
And if you haven't watched it already and you're watching the stream, what are you doing? Go watch it.
Yeah, go. Okay. There's a deal. Jacob, someone posted a link in our group chat saying there's an offer right now to get 3 months on Target. Yeah, Target Circle through Target. I should have known this, but I don't read my ads. So my God. Yeah, Target Circle has 3 months Apple Plus. That is enough to get you through if you want to watch it weekly to the end of January, or do what you want to do.
Look at this.
So
We're getting Target Circle signups off the clock.
yeah, there's also illegal ways to watch it.
No! Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Go through official means, please.
Yep. You got to remember, supporting it through Apple Plus gives them the real numbers of the support, and that's the movie, whether it's good or bad, is going to do good in
PlayStation 2, by the way. I've heard 4 people say if you have a PSN account, you can get pretty much for
There
free.
was a PlayStation offer. Yeah.
I have a Roku TV, which is why I have it till February. Nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
But
yeah, please go official means. Support the show in any way you can. Apple will very, very much appreciate it.
Not that Apple needs it.
Right now.
KU is repping Apple right now, so please
and
support that.
I think on my Apple device, it gave me a message to where, because I started my free trial, it said that I can give a month free to as many people as I want. So if you got a group of friends, kind of like what we got right now, technically we all could be giving each other free months as long as they have an account created. So there are ways to watch Monarch while still supporting Apple and supporting Monarch directly through Apple TV, and probably still doing it free, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with these deals. That's the nice thing about dropping right before Black Friday, whether it's getting months at discount or a bunch of free offers. This is the time to do it. Check your wireless providers as well. Mine in the beginning gave me like a total of a year of Apple TV for free. So just watch out. But I also got Apple products. So like the iPad came with 6 months, the phone came with 6 months, the watch came with 3, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Which all expired conveniently right before Monarch came out. So, but I don't mind. I thought Apple TV was more expensive, but $10 for it, and there's other shows that I've wanted to watch on it. I'll pay for it up until the end of the show, and then I'll put it on the list to see if I'm going to keep it. They have a bunch of shows, so.
There you go.
But yeah, Monarch. Monarch stream, everyone.
I'll end. Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I'll end for me saying that I was a little naughty because I really liked this show. So I ended up buying the New York Comic Con poster that they gave out.
No way. Is it signed?
I would be freaking out if it was signed. I wish. I'll work on it. Maybe I'll catch Kurt Russell one day. Wishful thinking.
Oh yeah, that
Kurt
reminds me.
Russell, G-Fest 2024.
Do you guys? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys think that we might see some cast members from the Monsterverse in G-Fest?
Oh,
well,
I don't know.
Not Monarch. Gia, I think if they don't bring Gia next year, I feel like that would be a big drop.
Bernie for G-Fest?
Yeah.
Bernie for G-Fest!
Probably not, because I'm sure since he's older, he probably, has a pretty good convention appearance fee. But then there's things like GalaxyCon where you can send in, prints and stuff send stuff to the artists. So always watch stuff like that. GalaxyCon is like based in Minneapolis, but they do send in orders as well that you can do. And then sometimes you get like a live chat with them while they're doing it as well.
But I can put in some requests at FanX Salt Lake City, because we just got Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio and Kirsten Ritter all at the same show this September.
Wow.
I gotta buy a Daredevil poster.
Good job.
So,
Jacob, if you could get Kurt Russell to go to a convention next year, I will try my damnedest to go.
I would cry at the line, dude. I would cry. It's so sad.
That would be so cool, but I cannot imagine his appearance fee is. It's respectfully, he's got a very long line, a very huge portfolio. It makes sense.
You got the horror fans, you got the Godzilla fans now, you got
Marvel.
action movie fans,
Marvel.
you got the normal people because he's a household name.
Yep. Yeah. I'm sure he's not cheap to book, but if you could do that.
I mean, how much was Millie Bobby Brown's fee in the conventions? Because I know a guy spent almost $1,000 on her.
I think her auto was like 250, 300.
It was 500 actually.
Oh, okay. I was doing 250 when she was at our show in 2016. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I was talking about appearance fee, how much they got to pay them to come to a convention.
Okay.
Millie is
A lot.
up there, but that comes from Stranger Things, which I get it.
Is it a hit?
Oh well.
It is a big hit, and Netflix as well. So, but maybe you never know. I would say, Joseph, to answer your question, if there's someone from MonsterVerse coming next year, Gia
or Mocap.
Oh.
Yep, Gia or AJ would be.
Oh, dude.
Or not
Gia and the
AJ,
Kong guy?
TJ.
I want to see the Kong mocap guy come with Gia. That'd be
He
cool.
would also be fun. Any of them,
Yeah.
honestly,
I know.
or the three guys that did
do
the
a
door.
whole stream on convention dream lists and speculation and stuff too.
Keep giving me ideas to screenshot and write down for streams because I want to do this more because I pay a lot for StreamYard and I really want to make sure I get my
Hey,
money.
we use StreamYard at
Remember-
KaijuUnited. I did it.
Remember
Yeah.
the Christmas stream, Christmas stories,
Well, holiday stream.
holiday.
But Joseph is
yeah.
right. I'll tease for anyone who's still here. There is the beginning parts of a stream that we were joking about today. Some sort of sit around the campfire and just talk about personal GFest stories. We're not going to tell other people's stories, but I also tease that it might be a laugh and drink because a lot of these are probably embarrassing and funny. So adding some drinking rules because we haven't had a drinking stream in a while on the channel would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys will hear about that. The main thing with that is holiday times are busy for all of us. So getting a day or a night where we all can get crunk and be okay the next day is going to be hard. So, but I'll figure something out. I want to do that. It's so much fun.
I'll just be drinking water the entire stream.
Hey,
Just one more year. One more year.
one more year. Will you be 21 before G-Fest?
I'll be 20 before G-Fest. It won't be until 25 until I'm 21.
20. Oh my goodness.
Well,
You're
that will
just
be
a
fun.
child.
I'm a
You're
baby.
just a child.
That's why he's my son.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a child.
Good stuff.
So
you
much
guys are my
youth in you.
grandpas.
We're your grandpas.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. I'll be your gilf.
Shit, I wouldn't mind.
Actually,
What's
I
going
think
on?
it's time to end the stream. So Joseph and I.
I'm gonna put the stream to rest.
Well, and this is a perfect time too. I want to thank my three guests for coming in. Joseph, Jacob, Matt. Thank you guys for showing up. Matt, Jacob, just coming in. Jacob was more of a surprise. Didn't.
This time.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if I'll be able to. We'll see. And then boom, he was there. Matt, we knew he'd be a few minutes late, but he
Always.
made time and he came. And I just got to say thanks to the three of you for coming and joining me on stream. I love it. I love these. I have so much fun.
It's always a blast.
Thank you.
Of course. And there will be more in the future, everyone. So I want to thank everyone for watching as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Monarch. I know we are, and I can't wait to do more. I can't promise we'll do a stream for every episode. I was kind of thinking about doing a weekly one, but maybe we'll do every 2. We'll see.
That
Maybe
makes sense. 3,
we'll
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
yeah, do 5 for Monarch, not to milk it too much, especially because -1 streams and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. We've already talked about that, and then obviously I don't want to put it out in the universe and then fall back on it. I don't want to do that. So, Lewis, thank you. Another great stream. I'm glad it was great. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks to the 3 bros here. And thank you, Apple TV and Legendary, for putting out one hell of a start of a show and what is seeming to be a really successful show by itself, not even counting it as the Monsterverse. Thank you, guys. This is the boys. We're signing out.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 I gotta press multiple buttons.